Can we please normalize men coming up to women again? I'm so annoyed that the feminist movement and all these like very entitled females now made it like almost basically impossible for a man to never not seem creepy. And I'm just like, here, like, what the heck? If you don't come up to me, I think you're a weak man. And you may not be, you probably aren't, because it'd be impossible for every man to be a weak man, especially at the gym that I go to. But, damn. The feminists really, really ruined many things. Shame on you, feminists.
See, I wanted to make this video because it goes perfect with another video that I'm going to play here for you guys soon. And it's not just about the one thing that she said about feminism, basically making out every man to be a creep, but actually feminism demonizing men, calling all men evil. And I have a video that I want to play for you guys here in a second, but I want to talk more about what she said in this video. Men aren't approaching you anymore because everything becomes a video online of a man harassing you. He could potentially lose his job. He could potentially lose his life. And whether it's even if it's proven that he did nothing wrong, but simply approach you and want to talk to you, his online reputation may never recover. He may never be seen as the good guy or the okay person in the situation. So it's not even worth the risk. There was a video I saw a few months back of a YouTube creator called Nate the Lawyer, where he talked about a case where a woman got a man arrested for 30 days for saying that he was stalking her, if I believe correctly.
A Bucks County man has been arrested on charges of attempted and kidnapping of a woman in a grocery store parking lot Tuesday night.
A few moments later.
And the big story in Action News is attempted charges dropped against a man wrongfully accused after he spent more than a month behind bars. Tonight, a 20-year-old Bucks County woman says she lied about the attack after police said her story didn't add up.
Well, come to find out, she had seen Pearson before and just randomly named him as her attacker, even though he had nothing to do with it, because she felt he was creepy.
Saying she named him because she had seen him at his truck in the shopping center previously and thought he was, quote, creepy.
Now, it turns out that once the police did the investigation, it was a lie. It was a lie. But that man lost his job, lost his reputation. Everything was ruined. And so that's the things that men have to deal with. And you know what's crazy about that situation is the thing is that man wasn't even looking at her. That man had nothing to do with anything whatsoever that she was saying. It ended up turning out that she just thought he was creepy looking. So she thought that the sane thing to do was to get this man arrested and get him sent to jail for possibly years based off of the fact that she thought it was creepy. And so that's the problem that a lot of men have with approaching women today. Second thing, men won't approach women in the gym because, again, it's the same thing. It becomes a viral video where the man is made out to look like the creep. Is a guy not allowed to? You go to the gym wearing these tight clothes, very revealing. I don't want to say revealing. Well, they are revealing tight clothes, what you would consider gym attire. And then you get upset that other people in the gym are looking at you, even if they're not looking at you in a malicious kind of way. You make these videos. I mean, Joey Swole, which is another content creator, is famous for doing these kind of videos where he's calling out people in the gym for trying to make, not just guys, but people in general, try to make others seem like creeps at the gym. And so that's another reason why. But here's the biggest reason why guys just aren't approaching anymore, because this is what feminism has done to women in the West. It has completely destroyed their view on men. To them, men are inherently evil. Now, I don't want to keep saying much. I'm just going to play the video for you guys.
The inherent fact that men are evil, that is true. Like man as a whole is evil. Like just as an entity, a general idea. Men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like, it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. It's like, it's not all men, but for some reason, always a man. Every time something terrible happens, always a man, like 99% of the time. So I feel like it's a lot simpler than people may think. I don't hate my man, I hate most men. And for me, I think given what men have done to me personally, to people I love, and the world as a whole, if they all start guilty and have to work their way to innocent, that's not really a big deal to me. I feel very like convicted in that. It's very like, if you're not awful, prove it.
Yeah.
Quit talking about it and
Right.
fucking do it. Because the men who complain that they really hate hearing like, oh, what about all men? Oh, all men, all men. A lot of this, not a lot of action.
So you see, this is how feminists view men. They view them as inherently evil creatures. From the moment you were born, if you are a man, you are inherently an evil person. Never mind that if just half of the men on the planet were inherently evil, like she says, she wouldn't be on camera saying that. I've always said that people in general, men and women, are not inherently evil. We are not inherently good either. We are neutral. We are a product of our environment and the way we are raised as children in the home, plus another multitude of factors, right? It's not as simple as she makes it out to be. But a lot of feminists do believe that all men are evil. Obviously, she's not going to think that her man, because it's her man. And by the way, I feel sorry for that fucking guy. Imagine having to deal with this shit and then being guilt-tripped into thinking you're bad because you don't want to do things the way your girl wants them to do, the way your girl wants you to do them. It's crazy. But this is how they view us. They view us as inherently evil people who need to be redeemed. Again, most men aren't even evil. Most men aren't evil. Yes, men have been caused majority of the problems throughout history. That doesn't mean that most men are evil. Most men are actually good, because again, if just half the men on the planet, if just half the men on the planet were as evil as she says, she wouldn't be on the microphone talking. And it's kind of crazy that she's able to sit there in that studio that was most likely built by a man, holding that microphone that was invented by a man, being recorded on a camera that was invented by a man, who probably has a phone that was invented by a man, under some lights that were invented by a man, with lights, because she has lights, because a man is running the infrastructure. A man is running the infrastructure for her to be able to have electricity in her home or in that studio. And she has the audacity to say this about men. Majority of the things that make her life comfortable today were created by men. But according to these people, all men do is bring destruction. Again, if half the men were as evil as she said they were, as she says they are, she wouldn't be able to say this on camera and be celebrated. You know what's crazy? The comments under her video, I'm going to read you some of the comments because, again, this just highlights the brain rot that feminism has brought to a lot of these women. Yep, not all men, but always a man, because obviously women have never committed any crimes, any atrocities. Women have never done anything. I think Adam actually ate the apple but blamed it on Eve, and it's been downhill from there. That's not what the Bible says. But obviously women are going to twist these women who don't even believe in God. They don't even believe in traditional marriage. They don't believe in anything holy and traditional. They are going to lecture the people that believe in the Bible about the Bible. Patriarchy has ruined this world. Literally 5,000 years of receipts. If you're not awful, prove it. Men have proved that throughout history. Again, men are the reason you women have the right to vote. See, they like to call us evil, but don't realize that a lot of the reasons they have all the rights that they have is because men fought for them. If men truly didn't give a fuck about women, they wouldn't have given them the rights. It sounds kind of fucked up, and it sounds like I'm basically proving her point, but I'm not. I'm not proving her point. Because the reason women have the rights that they have, at least in the West, is because men fought for them to have those rights. Men are inherently, biologically stronger, physically stronger than men. And so if men didn't want to give them rights, there would have been no way for women to actually acquire those rights. Look at Muslim societies, for example. Why don't women have the level of rights that Western women have? Because the men will not give it to them. And if the women get out of line, guess what? They get stoned. But this is not a religious conversation today. This is just about men being inherently evil, like she's saying. This woman is saying the rights of the matriarchy. She's absolutely correct. Proof is all around us. Mind you, all these women probably have fathers. They probably don't think their father's awful. But if you don't think your father's awful, but every other man is, you probably think that all of your girlies right here, all of their fathers are awful people. So I wanted to make sense. I wanted to square this hole right here, but it doesn't square. Again, these women are allowed to do this in a society built by men for them. Again, I'm not saying that men haven't committed atrocities throughout history, but majority of men have never been evil. But obviously you've had your bad apples throughout history, and some of them have acquired power and done a lot of harm. But women have run societies too, and they have ruled with an iron fist as well. Because that's what power does. Power corrupts. It doesn't necessarily have to do with who you are as a man or a woman. Once you have that power, you want more of it. And to keep it, you rule with an iron fist. That's why a lot of our politicians don't want to leave office. Why? Because it gives them a sense of power.
Do you know the number one offender? Biological fathers.
Men have been causing the war and destruction. They are also the number one offenders. We're in fucking hell with men. I don't think anyone can really grasp how fucking horrific it is, but we are in fucking hell with men. And then on top of that, they like to come to my fucking page and say it's not all men. They add nothing to the fucking conversation about.
What is there to add? Because when you say men, you're literally labeling every man as an offender. And I've already stated that not every man, and it's not us defending. I just don't understand exactly what feminists want us to do, right? So they say men are X, Y, and Z. They're evil. So they just generalized all men. So now you will have men that are not evil come and say, not all men. They're not adding anything to the conversation because you made a broad statement. They're telling you that not all men act this way. And so with that, you say, well, you guys are protecting, the bad guys. We're not protecting. How are we supposed to do? What do you want us to go start doing? I want to know what logical conclusion do the feminists want us to get to? Do they want us to go around as quote unquote good men and start asking other men if they're good men? And if they say, no, I'm not a good man, just what do you want us to do? Unalive them? Put them in prison? You can't put people in prison without having committed a crime, right? So until that man commits those evil crimes, we can't do anything about it. Unless, like she said, you're predetermined to be bad and you have to work your way up to be good. But that doesn't work. That doesn't logic. That means that all men are in prison and women will be running all the prisons. And that's simply not going to happen. And again, you're just assuming guilt to an entire group of people based on the actions of a few. What does that sound like? I don't know. Interesting. Let me know in the comments if that sounds like something familiar to you. Anyways, you can't do anything. And no man is going to admit that he's a bad person, even if he is a bad person. So I don't know what logical conclusion the feminists want us to get to here. I would love to hear it, but they never have an answer. They just say, well, you guys are protecting and defending the evil men. I have one more video I want to play for you guys, which perfectly highlights what feminists are really like. And this woman, she's amazing. She has amazing content because she's out there defending men. Because we don't get defended. We get attacked even by men. But women stick together. Even when they do bad, other women will defend them. But that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
This is my petition to bring back manly men.
Oh, manly men are in demand again, are they? Let me guess. Someone must have needed something.
Just tell me why I was at the airport yesterday and I asked two grown-ass men to help me put my fucking suitcase up in the overhead bin.
Yep. Called it. Because the only time that some of those strong, independent women seem to want manly men around is when they find out they can't do something all by themselves.
They both said no. One of them was like, if you can't put it up yourself, go check it at the gate.
I feel that's a perfectly valid response. After all, if a woman can't handle her own baggage, why should she try to hand it off to a man to deal with?
I was like, jaw dropped, because what's your issue?
There's no issue. They've probably just been listening to what a lot of women out there have been saying, that they don't need or want men for anything.
If I could, I would, but I just can't. I'm 5 feet tall. I literally weigh 90 pounds, and you think I can barely reach up there. What's your issue? Hello? I don't, what?
Maybe, just maybe, a person should have taken a little more responsibility for their own actions, not taken on more than they're physically capable of handling themselves, and then expect others, specifically men, to do the work for them.
They've been telling us, I mean, I just showed you guys the proof. They literally tell us, they demonize us. They tell us we shouldn't walk up to them. We shouldn't talk to them. We shouldn't approach them. There's no reason. They're going to ridicule us online. Tell us how we're evil, how we're bad, how we're creepy. And then they expect us to just help them when they need it. It doesn't work this way. If you keep telling somebody or a group of people that they're not needed, that you can do everything by yourself, you're strong and independent, you should need a man to help you. Now again, this is coming from the same women that don't realize that men are the reason why society moves forward. If men were to disappear tomorrow, I'd give it about a week and society would completely collapse. And I don't mean because of birth rates or anything like that, but simply because there wouldn't be enough women that would know how to run the infrastructure that holds society together. But I've said enough in this video. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Are you guys pro-feminist? Do you guys agree with these women that hate all men? Do you think all men are evil? Or do you think that the backlash that men are giving women now is justified based on their actions? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.